Well, welcome to Northeast Iowa. Now, on one of my last videos, we went ahead and experimented with carrots to see how well they would transplant from the little 4-packs into a large pot. Now, I had no idea, and we had to figure out if it was going to work or not. So it will save a lot of people from trying to do what I did, and it failed. It didn't work out very well. We have like one little carrot here that I transplanted that survived. And for anybody else that is going to try it, well, save yourself the time, because I'm just believing that the taproot is probably just so tender that if you go ahead and transplant it, you're disturbing it out of that 4-pack, and then you may end up disturbing it while you transplanted it into a big pot. So experiment failed, and then we know now that it's not really worth its time. So what I went ahead and did, sprinkled a lot of carrot seeds into these 2 pots here so that they can germinate and we can get them outside. I go ahead and I usually keep, I find a lot of good succession rate planting these seeds in the pots, so that I keep them inside the garage, and then I just move them in and out when we get nice sunny days. And today's sunny, but it's only about 38 degrees, so we're going to just keep them in the garage. Went ahead and seeded them over the weekend, so they're rare and ready to go. Now, here in the upper Midwest, I like to do it this way because the ground is extremely cool in early spring for these carrot seeds, and it takes a little while for them to get germinated. By doing it this way, they get a little bit of a jump start, and then you can go ahead and get yourself an early harvest. Now, any other zones further south, I'm sure they could possibly even get a couple harvests of carrots. But in the upper Midwest, it's a struggle, and I find out this is the best way to do it. Get an early start on them to get them planted. And yeah, I got to put them in and out in the sun just to go ahead and kind of get them acclimated, but I do get some pretty good carrots. Now, the carrot that I ended up planting was an orange 15 to 16 inch length orange carrot. It's got the red centering on it, and then we'll just see how the germination goes with this. But good carrot, and I think it'll work out well for us. So the project that we're going to end up doing today is going to be putting some potatoes into a large pot here. And what I want to do is show you how I do it. In this large, nice sized pot, I do get a lot of potatoes. I like the sweet potato over the potatoes, so we do get a generous amount of potatoes just out of this great big pot, and it's enough for our family. So I'm just going to go ahead, I cut the potatoes in half. Some of them are sprouting already really nicely. So I'm going to probably put about 3 in to the soil here that I got into the pot. Nice compost soil. Good mixture of mulched leaves from last fall, and it's nice and rich. So I just go ahead and, some of the pots you can get 2 of them in, but I think as large size as this one is, I normally go ahead and put about 4 of them in on the bottom. And then, of course, the bone meal, the potatoes just love. And I'll give it a little bit. So then I go ahead, take some of the other compost here, put over the top, and, give it a generous amount. Kind of level it off. Boy, this is really nice stuff. Oh, look at here. We even found a walnut. Squirrel must have missed this one over the winter. And spread it out. Got some leaves in there yet. We're going to go ahead. Now, there's just so the debate on having it sprout or not sprout potatoes is entirely up to you, depending on how early of a potato you want to have. So that's why, you know, if you're in the upper Midwest, you may want to get your sprouting going sooner so that you can go ahead and get earlier potatoes. Now, as you move into the warmer part of the summer, you know, you end up getting all the bugs and the potato bugs, and, you know, you're just out there, you know, going crazy trying to keep those things, you know, off your plants. But I find out that getting it going sooner in pots, you're not dealing with those potato bugs. So that's why some of my potatoes don't have a complete sprout on them. They do have little ones starting around at the top up here. To me, that's good enough because I'm not expecting potatoes too soon. So depending on when you want them, if you want to start sprouting them early, that'll give you the opportunity to be able to have some early potatoes. And if you're looking for it to be a little later, you know, you can still put them in the ground even with the sprout not happening on there. All right, spread them out. Give them some bone meal. I like using the organic bone meal, and it seems to work out really well. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw some more compost in here. I'll keep the bucket inside the garage until it gets a little bit warmer, and it'll be like the same thing that I'll probably end up doing with the potatoes as I do with the carrots. And you're probably going, oh God almighty, you know, moving all that in and out. Well, after you get everything acclimated, you leave it outside and it takes off and it goes. So now you notice that none of these have the sprout on them, but they will develop, and we're getting them put into the pots soon enough so that they got plenty of time to grow. Now, being here in the upper Midwest, you just gotta kind of like use the time as you can because it's such a short growing season where you have to just figure some things out that work well for you. So you got some nice vegetables for yourself. But here we go. Let me get this in here. And I'm going to keep a little space at the top here. And probably about an inch and a half, where I'm going to leave that space available for the sprouts to start shooting through, and then once they get tall enough, I will then fill it in with the rest of the compost to hold up the sprouting potatoes. Now, it's a pretty easy thing to do, especially if you people who don't have space and you're living in an apartment, you got the balcony. This is really a good way to go. If you like your potatoes, I definitely would go with the pots as large as possible, so you get yourself a real good, you know, good harvest for a few meals. And don't go small. Small is nice, but I mean, you don't get a whole lot of production out of a small pot. So that's my way of planting the potatoes. I find it successful. I do get a good a good amount of them, and they're excellent. So we'll keep an eyeball on this one here as time goes on, and then when harvest time rolls around, we'll roll it over and find out what we got in there. So thank you for stopping by here at Northeast Iowa, and if you like the content, give me a thumbs up and give us a good subscribe also. This will help us out in the long run also too. So thank you so much, and have yourself a good one. Bye.